everyone. We have an update from Ethema Health Corporation, which trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol GRST and operates in the behavioral healthcare space, specifically in the treatment of substance use disorders. We are going to be speaking with Shawn Leon, Chairman, CEO, and CFO. Welcome back to the conference, Shawn.
Thanks, Anna.
Now, I know you want to leave a bit of time to answer follow-up questions, but let's start off. Give our audience a recap of what progress you've made since your last presentation about a month ago.
Sure. I think what's important to say is that we've solidified our objectives for this year coming up. One, we want to acquire the 25% interest in the subsidiary that we already own 75% of. Two, we want to do an uplisting to a senior exchange. And three, we want to do at least one de novo growth location in Florida and at least one acquisition outside of Florida. So some of these steps required to do this, we're going to need to raise about $1 million immediately. And there's several discussions and probabilities that will happen. We want to raise $5 million in conjunction with the uplisting. And with respect to the uplisting, as everyone knows, we would have to do a consolidation to do an uplisting. But we want to be clear with everybody that that would only happen upon the uplisting and in conjunction with the uplisting. We've identified a short list of the bankers and advisors that we'll engage for this process and expect to move forward with the selected partners within the month.
Great. Thank you for that. And I know that there were a lot of questions from your last presentation on how all of this is going to affect current shareholders. So tell us more, address that question for us.
Sure. I've talked to many folks about this, and everything we're doing is designed to be accretive to the existing shareholders so that when we bring in new equity or buy something or acquire something, it will always be positive for the existing shareholders. Some people have asked the question, are you going to wipe out the existing shareholders? I'm not sure how you even do that, but everything we do will be accretive. And an example of that is that we're currently out there marketing a Reg A at the price of 0.0012, which is quite a bit above the existing market price. And investors are investing at that level. They know the funds go to the company and not to other shareholders, and they support the company. I really don't know who and why people are selling shares at the current price with all that we've accomplished in last year. But, we have definitely got a value that's in excess of the market value. To give you an example, yesterday, about 90 million shares traded in our stock, all at 0.0004 and above, and 0.005. And at 3:51 p.m., somebody prints a trade at 0.0003. I mean, that's just outright manipulation. We don't know why. There's no convertible debt left on our company or in our books. I don't know what the motivation is, but clearly we don't feel that that's the value, and all of the new fundraising that we'll do will be done at much higher levels and all be accretive to the existing shareholders.
Thank you for that explanation. I'd like to ask, what are your plans for updating and staying in communication with your shareholders throughout all of this?
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit that, we haven't had a big focus on this as we struggled really with all the debt from the setbacks we had in 2019 and 2020. And debt reduction was, our principal concern. And, it's all behind us now. We did the real estate transaction in the summer. We paid off any convertible debt that we had left. And so all of that is behind us. And, we've now got to focus on growth. And as we do that, we'll be communicating directly. On our webpage, we have a sign up, and many shareholders have signed up. We'll be communicating with that group directly. And we'll be doing a much better job on social media. the business we are in and the market we serve, it's very near and dear to many people who have been touched by addiction in one way or another. And they want to be engaged with the company and people that are serving this community. And we'll do our best to engage them.
We do have some questions from our viewers. Let's see how many we can fit in. Mike Hollander says, you only have about 1 million market cap now, so will you have to reverse to uplist, or will the value take care of itself?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long way to go to reach the value of the uplisting. So, as I just stated, we do and will have to do a reverse. We won't do that again until and in conjunction with an uplisting. And we don't know what that number is, but we do. The answer to his question is really it's a half and half. It's going to, halfway improve through the existing market and the market price, and the other half will be consolidation.
And any idea what that restructure will look like if it's needed?
I mean, we're going to have, how many shares outstanding, I don't know, and what the total percentage of the shares outstanding will belong to the existing shareholders and what will belong to investors that are putting in, millions more dollars into this company. Again, our focus is really to be accretive to the existing shareholders as long as what we do adds value to what they already own. That will be the guiding principle for us.
Doug Aguilar asks, would it make sense to go QX and raise money there first?
We were previously listed on QB, and when we fell below a penny due to the dilution that happened in 2019, it really wasn't, QB, QX doesn't do a lot for you. You'd still probably have to do a reverse. And I just don't think it's worth doing a reverse unless you're going to a senior exchange.
You mentioned this before, but Anne wants you to answer any idea how much you'd like to raise, and will the use of proceeds be to expand organically or acquire existing locations? Talk about that raise.
Yeah, I mean, it's, as I stated, it's $1 million now, and that, the majority of that would go to acquiring the 25% of our existing company. I mean, the first thing I want to buy is the thing we already own, which makes most sense for us, and it's a fabulous asset. And the next raise, which should be $5 million, will be probably about $1 million towards a de novo growth situation in Florida, and the balance would go towards an acquisition outside of Florida. We do have facilities and locations and companies lined up, so we think we can execute on that pretty fast. And then further to that, once we're on a senior exchange, the sky's the limit in terms of being able to acquire more companies either with stock or with a combination of cash and stock.
And how many beds do you expect by the end of 2025?
Well, the goal was to grow to 500 beds in 2 years. So whether it be the end of 2025 or beginning of 2026, that's where we expect to be.
And Shawn, last question, a couple of elements to it. Oliver wants to know, what does a company look like post-funding and uplisting? Talk about acquisitions, new properties, potential sales growth.
Yeah, I think we've covered most all of those. The question about what the company looks like in the exact structure, I don't know. It depends on a lot of factors, but the one thing that's going for the existing shareholders, the value of the stock right now is it's so undervalued. There's no need for us to sort of take anything away from the existing shareholders. This existing shareholders and existing structure is at a very low market cap, and it's way under real value. So I'm bringing things to the company that will just add value to the existing shareholders and the existing shares. And I expect the price to appreciate in conjunction with that. Again, outside of any kind of whatever manipulation or people trying to make the stock look bad. But if you look at the fundamentals, we are worth a lot more than what it's trading at.
Well, thank you, Shawn, so much. We appreciate you coming on with this update, and we look forward to following you along in the near future.
Thanks, Anna, and thanks to everybody out there listening.
All right, stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.